What's up, everyone? For today's video, it's going to be really quick. I'm actually going to Vegas next week, but I still want to put out a video for you guys. So I'm actually going to take a little trip down memory lane and pull up some old photos from 2012, 13, 14, and 15. And I just want to show you the progression of my work, because a lot of people think or say that they'll never be like this person and they'll never take pictures like that, and it's just all in your head. A lot of this stuff is just time and practice and experimenting. So I just want to show you where I started to where I am now, so you can kind of see how fast I progressed and all the mistakes that I made, which hopefully you could avoid. So let's jump to the computer and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so you guys ready for this? Here we go. Oh Jesus, what was I doing? I don't even know what I was thinking when I was editing this photo. It's super purple, you know, a lot of magenta in there, and I guess back then I just didn't care about white balance. I just wanted to create an image that looked cool, and yeah, obviously I didn't care about white balance. This is absolutely not what the sky will look like at night, so you want to stay a lot warmer and try to avoid pinks and purples in your sky. If you're on the blue side because it's astronomical twilight, or if the moon is out, that's one thing, but it shouldn't be purple. Let me see if I could even adjust this. It is a JPEG, so I am limited, but I'm sure I can make it a little bit better. Hold on, let's warm that up. What was I thinking? So I made the foreground way too bright as well. You want to have like a nice natural foreground that doesn't look like it's daytime, and clearly I missed the mark on this one, but you know, it was 2012, my first road trip cross country to Utah. I stopped at a bunch of amazing places, and this is my first taste of an actual real night sky versus New Jersey. So maybe that's why I was just kind of figuring out what worked best, what settings to use, because it's so much darker than it is in New Jersey. But yeah, this was pretty bad. But ironically, on the next photo, this is also at Bryce Canyon National Park. And you can see here, my white balance is actually good. You want your sky to be black because that's what it is at night. And my core is nice and warm. This, I don't know why I didn't do this for every photo. I was very inconsistent, and but this is what you want to strive to get when you're shooting the Milky Way. Obviously, if there's some air glow in the sky, that might create some pinks and greens in your night sky, but ultimately you want a warmer image and try to avoid a lot of those purple colors. And you're going to see a theme throughout my photos when we go through this with the night sky. I don't know why I did it, but that's why we learn. Alright, so jumping to the next photo. Good old HDR days. You know, when everything was just a puke of color. I had a really nice sunrise at this place. It's in New Egypt. This is also in 2012. And we all went through that phase where we want to oversaturate or boost up the vibrance and really bring out detail in the sky. And for this particular day, there was like rain clouds right above me, but then a nice sunrise in the distance, and I decided to make it look really extreme. And I didn't care about white balance or noise apparently, or color, because I just pumped up the saturation, bumped up the clarity, which basically introduced a ton of noise in the shadow areas here. If I zoom in, I didn't even clean up half the dust spots that were in the photo, but I was just a lazy photographer, I guess. Again, I wasn't really selling my pictures at the time, so maybe that's why I didn't care about the noise and the dust. I was just trying to create something unique and cool and different, but yeah, looking back, I would totally do this a lot differently now. And you want to try to avoid damaging your images and going too surreal. I mean, maybe that's a look that you like, but I think it can be done tastefully, and in this case it's just overdone. Jumping on the next photo, this is in Asbury Park. I was trying to do some HDR, really grungy look to this photo. There was a lot of rain clouds, which added a lot of drama in the sky, but I just overdid it with this one again. The clouds are overdone. I introduced a ton of noise. You could see just the quality of the image is degraded because of the over processing I did to it. I didn't even fix the lens fringing here. You got the teal and the magenta. You want to try and clean that stuff up, but clearly I don't know what I was doing. Now this is another Milky Way shot from 2013 in Ocean Grove. To be fair, it was astronomical twilight. That's why I could see the sunrise is starting to come up here. But again, I'm too much on the magenta side, and it's creating a lot of purple on this right side of the image. I'm better off bringing this more to the cyan side of things and adding a little bit more green, just to kind of get rid of that purple color. It's still very blue, but we could always pull out some of the saturation of the blue to tone it down. Now, to be a little less hard on myself for this photo, this is New Jersey. It is Ocean Grove, which has a lot of light pollution. I think this might have been around Hurricane Sandy though, so we had a lot of power outages, which made it possible to take pictures of the Milky Way in certain areas that were typically a higher light pollution area. But with the lights knocked out, it was pretty cool to kind of get some of these spots. However, again, it is just hard to pull out detail in this Milky Way, and all I could do is sigh. That's all I could do is just sigh on some of my photos from the past. Now jumping to 2014, and this is another hard shot in New Jersey because the moon was actually setting behind me, which kind of made the sky a little on the blue side. And for whatever reason, I made the core of the Milky Way very magenta, purple, pink, and I guess I was trying to bring out detail in the core of the Milky Way, but it's so unbalanced, and just the color is so off and terrible. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Now, at this point, I was getting a better grasp on night photography. I was taking sharper night images and cleaner night images. I just had to start to dial in my white balance and work on that some more. So going to 2015, I went out to Colorado. Obviously, the night sky is so much better there, but I didn't create that purple blue hue that I've been doing with a lot of my older photos. I started to warm it up, try and hit my blacks in the sky, and make it more natural to what you would see with your eye. Now, obviously, your camera pulls out more detail than your eye can, but you could still create a nice, natural-looking Milky Way without going too crazy with the editing process. And I also learned better techniques. Software came out to create cleaner foregrounds, so when you blend all that together, you get a nice, well-balanced night photo, and something that you could hang on the wall or sell. Okay, so that about wraps it up, and I just really want to show you guys my progression from 2012 all the way up to 2015, and it wasn't an overnight thing. It took time and practice and a lot of trial and error for me to figure out the best techniques for night photography, specifically Milky Way photography. But through my trial and error, you get to see tutorials and learn a lot faster than I did, so hopefully you could start taking better Milky Way images sooner and learn from my mistakes. So thank you so much for watching. Please check out the links below, and if you're a new subscriber, thank you and welcome, and I'll catch you guys next week. Bye.